Many years ago, the state of New Jersey sponsored a group home for mentally handicapped men at 15 South Street. St. Columba Convent is at 7 South Street, so it's just a couple of doors away. One of the residents there was a man named Louis Cherry. He was a small-bodied Italian man, maybe 40, 45 years old. He had a great smile and beautiful blue eyes. He had absolutely no communication skills. He grunted. But he was a good friend for the sisters. He took our garbage cans out, brought them back in faithfully, swept our sidewalk, immaculately clean. And then we noticed that Louis wasn't doing that. He wasn't around. When I asked the man who answered the door at 15 where Louis was, he didn't know anything about Louis. So I tried the police, and they said, yes, Louis was in jail. He had stolen a radio from a car on South Street. So I went to the jail to see him. I got escorted to a petitioned-off skinny area, thick plastic between the visitor and the prisoner, and they brought Louis in, and he looked so forlorn. But he sat, and I tried a little conversation, and then Louis put his hand up on the plastic, and I put mine on my side, and I looked at Louis and his beautiful, beautiful blue eyes. At that time, there was a picture of Jesus with a crown of thorns and the robe. It was a colored pencil sketch. It was popular in classrooms. It was called Ecce Homo. When I had my hand up on that plastic, I felt my heart almost stop skipping beats. So I left, and I went down to the police station and found out that, yes, Louis had stolen the radio. It was an unmarked police car. The window was open. The radio was on the front seat. Louis fell for the bait, and he got trapped. And there was a court date. So I wrote the court a letter trying to explain Louis' situation, and somehow, luckily, got to the presiding judge. So when they brought Louis in, the judge saw me, he invited me up to be a witness. He was a smart, compassionate judge. He knew immediately what the situation was, and so he said he would dismiss the case if Louis would get into a program teaching honesty and integrity, and if I would help him do that. I immediately said, yes, Your Honor, and hoped to Louis to do the same, and he grunted. And they took him away, and I left the court, and I waited for him. We got back in the car. And I said to myself, this is crazy. So I taught one of the best lessons of my whole life. Driving along and said, Louis, you've got to keep your hands out of other people's stuff. And Louis, be very careful on the street. And Louis, we're never going to have to go back to that judge again. And he grunted. When I parked the car on South Street, the program was finished. Louis had passed with flying colors. And as he headed toward 15 and I headed toward 7, I glanced over my shoulder and he was smiling. And I was smiling too. So very grateful to have been blessed to have time with my Ecce Homo.